So obviously we've got like this vision that you all produce. I think you led in it, didn't you, with the club's vision?
Yeah.
So it was to produce all these technically excellent and innovative players with exceptional communication, decision-making skills.
Yeah.
Intelligent players with the ability to problem solve, who have a great ethic and strive every day to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
Just work in the pro development phase. How do you and Lee provide the environment that helps develop these players into that vision?
Yeah, I think it's obviously the coaching programme is a big part of it. The way it's designed to work on all four corners. Do you know what I mean? We challenge the players in all four corners. We set up an environment where you don't have to fear failure. You accept failure. It's gaining the knowledge from mistakes, buying into the learning aspect of it, trying to react really positively when you've made a mistake. Those sort of things. A lot of reinforcement through match analysis, individual stuff. We get clips from obviously top players and things like that, or any little site clips from other sports that can cross over and impact them mentally in the professional development phase. And the belief that there's a pathway there. The ones who perform well get opportunities in the 21s. And we get a lot of individual time. They design their own practices, so we give them a bit of ownership as well. So to try and get that full buy-in from them all.
All right. So obviously, in your experience, providing that environment, what obstacles and challenges have you seen or felt that players have had, to progress through that professional development phase?
Yeah, I think certainly a while ago it's getting better. Facilities are now improving a lot. We're still missing an indoor facility on site where we could do a lot more technical work during the winter. When the conditions outside are horrendous. Obviously, when you're training outside in winter, you're mindful of keeping them warm, keeping them on the move, and all that sort of thing. Whereas if you had that facility, you could go in there, slow it down. You could spend a little bit more time working on the technical at really low tempo. So you could even do possibly more recovery sessions and stuff with the ball. Whereas when you're outside it, battling the elements, you're trying to keep that enthusiasm, keep that tempo to the session really to get through it. The other things is I think it's really tough for them in terms of the amount of hours that they're at the academy. College is obviously education's a big part of the scholarship, but again it just adds to that mental drain on them, if you like. And we try and train around that. The EPPP now with the 12 to 14 hours is a lot amongst the college. And time to do a little bit more individual stuff, finding time to do their individual clips and things like that. That's difficult. And even for the players to keep their sort of focus and the concentration, the drive continuously, hour on hour, day on day, is quite difficult. I think certainly in the last 6 months, last maybe 3 or 4 months, what's been difficult in terms of training is the amount of players we've had involved in the under-21s. So our best players are involved in under-21s, which means the training time is massively cut down because they're either match prepping, playing or recovering. Whereas in terms of training development, they're not getting that development in training. Don't get me wrong, games are fantastic to develop in. But when you look at them individually, rather than as part of a team, individually those players have missed out a little bit on that individual development time. So
obviously you're focused on the need to get indoor facilities and longer time to work on individuals technically. And you talked about the demands of school or college and having to play for the 21s and the games and the recovery that's involved in that. You also kind of touched on the individual stuff, so it's that focus and that concentration. Do you feel like that is massive? Do you think that's significant personally from a player in order to deal with those demands?
Yeah, it is. It's a big ask. It's a challenge. They're developing obviously all the time, which is why over the last couple of seasons we've put much more focus on developing the psyche and the mindset, because that plays a huge, if not the most important part really in the development from 16 to 21. It plays a huge part in whether they get the next contract at 18, because if they've got an aptitude and a willingness to learn and a commitment to do the work, then as a coach you see more potential in them because of the mindset. So you think, well, if he does this for another year or another 2 years the way he has done, he's going to improve a lot. Whereas if that mindset's a little bit more unpredictable or reliable, then that period of development, you wonder how much they'll get from it.
Right. So So just on that mindset, we were talking about the psychological aspects. Are the things that you manage or put in place, you know, to support these players to develop those, or do you feel that's something that needs to be in place?
No, I think it's good now. I think obviously we have had Gareth in. We did a lot of work with the players. You know, I've got me FA psychology level 3 and 4 was always a big part of my game and makeup professionally from the experiences of playing.
Yeah.
Just try and pass on that to the younger players, but I think it's also important that you empathise with them a little bit. You understand what is going through their minds during the process of the scholarship. And you know, we all want them, and coaches tend to look at them and judge them very quickly on their mindset and psychology, and almost write them off. So like a coach might say, oh, can't use his left foot very well. Well, what will we do? Well, we'll work on his left foot.
Yeah.
Brilliant. The coach is always mentally weak. What will we do? Well, no, he's mentally weak. No chance. So that was the old maybe mindset. So we obviously try and develop that psyche again through individual work, through giving them different challenges, through doing stuff in the match analysis room, and you know what I mean, and really putting demands and standards in place. That you know that attitude and that work ethic's got to be there's like a sort of line, do you know what I mean, where everyone knows they've got to comply to a certain level of application and things like that. So it's a culture really. I think we've created a culture on that, which has helped massively.
So I kind of get the feeling that you're of this thought that you can pretty much develop anything if you've got the facilities and the resources and the knowledge and experience to do that. Would you say there's some raw materials that are really needed when you play walk through that door?
Definitely, in
a pre-PD, what raw material would you say that there's
needed there? Absolutely. I think you can develop anything, that's true, but I think you've got to understand where we're trying to get to, and that's championship footballers, which is exceptionally high, extremely difficult. And you know, if you become a championship footballer and can sustain that for a period of 4 or 5 years, chances are you're a millionaire. And no one's going to give you that.
Right.
Everyone's fighting for that and battling for it. Just go back to the question again. I just lost my train of thought.
So we're just talking. I just said that you.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So recruitment's massively important because we need players coming through the door and coming into the club that not only improve what we've got, but who have the potential. And again, it's the eye for that potential to possibly develop into championship players and beyond.
You just talked about that eye for potential. How would you say you visualise that?
For me, I think there's a few key things that I look for personally. It would be how the player moves. So what his movement's like? Can he turn quickly? Has he got decent agility? Does he look like sort of a comfortable runner? Does he move across the floor reasonably quickly? So again, you know, that agility, that balance, speed.
And we talk about the fundamentals.
Fundamentals and speed. Speed's a big one.
Yeah.
Because you know, at championship level, everyone's got to be fairly quick to get to the Premier League. It's a little bit quicker. League One, obviously, slightly different. So I'd look for those sort of things. And again, in terms of mentality, I'd look for desire, commitment, determination. Who plays well when the team's playing poorly? Who can be outstanding when the team's playing well? How do they interact with the other players? Does they moan? Do they try and encourage? How do they react to their own mistakes? And then after that, you probably look at the technical.
Right.
You know, who's got a decent, or as part of that circle, if you like, if there's that and that little triangle of things, the physical, that sort of psyche, and then the technical, who has got a really good first touch? Who's got a good first touch? Who buys themselves a little bit of time just from the quality of the touch? Who can see a pass? And what then obviously you're looking at what they like technically, but the first touch, awareness maybe is a way to put the first touch, because whether you're a late developer, old developer, 6 foot or 4 foot, that awareness of just does he seem to keep putting his touch away from pressure? Does he keep going into pressure?
So it's not about first touch, it's all about receiving the ball, aren't we?
Receiving the ball, do they scan, do they know they've got room so they pop out their feet and they get after it? There's a few bodies, do they put it tight? Can they protect the ball with their body at all? Have they got any ability to do that? Because an ability to do it's an understanding of, I have to do this, do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then how do they do it? Just those things really, and then obviously it becomes a little bit position specific after that, but those would be like the 3 key areas for me. If you get interest, if you like, in all 3 or see potential in those,
Yeah.
You then look at them specifically in the position,
So technical point of view, we're talking.
especially from young.
Yeah, we're talking real emphasis on their ability to receive the ball and that understanding of
What's
the
around
space
them,
and pressure.
what's around them, yeah.
And we also talking about that vision of can he see that pass?
Can they see a pass? Yeah.
Would you say they're
Decision
kind of
making, do they know when to keep it easy, when to try something?
Would you say they're kind of main attributes you're talking about? Is that functional technique, that
Yeah.
where, when, how to pass?
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
And then you go into positions then. So obviously if you're a wide man, can he dribble? Can he run with the ball?
Yeah.
There's not many players who are good at running with the ball now. Strikers, can they turn? I don't see many strikers that are good at turning with the ball.
Right.
You get the ones that can hold it up and link it, or the ones that can run in behind. There's not many that can get it with the back to goal, do a bit and end up going that way.
Right.
And it just becomes a positional thing then.
Okay. All right. So we discussed, the environment that you provide and the obstacles that these players face, or the obstacle, or the possible barriers that stops them personally making it.
Yeah.
And the raw materials you'll feel. Do you think we've touched on everything you want to touch on in terms of raw materials? Do you think there's something that scouts will benefit from knowing as well that we've not talked about already? Take as long as you want.
I think communication could be one, because
we talk about in the vision, don't we?
Yeah, communication, because there's different types. But I mean, we get lads in on trial who just do not shout for the ball.
Right.
And it amazes me, because I'm thinking, you've got a window of opportunity here. The ball is a vital component of what you're going to be judged on. If you ain't shouting for it, you're not going to get it. And also, if you're not shouting it, do you really want it? Do you know what I mean? So, in games, do they wander about and then get it when it comes to them? So you could have someone who doesn't really shout for it, then every time they get it, they do a little bit. But then you could get someone who's constantly trying to get it all the time.
Right.
Might not be as effective. But long term, that player who wants to get on it all the time is going to develop quicker.
So now wanting to affect the game.
Want to get on it, want to take responsibility. Take responsibility, like I say, it's easy when you're winning, but who still wants to do it when they're not winning?
Yeah.
Do they give any information out to any of the players? Do they motivate? Do they organise? Even at young, time, man on, just basic little things. But they show an understanding of the game. Do you know what I mean? Just the little things. Turn out. Yes, I'll have it. Hold it up. Just little things like that. And you think, well, he understands the game.
So when we talking communication, we're really emphasising that vocal communication. Is that significant?
A little bit. It might be a little bit of the one of them. Every time someone wants it, they might go, here.
Yeah.
Or here.
So as long as that communication that suggests either vocal or non-vocal, that he wants to be on the ball.
They want to get on the ball. They want to affect the game.
Right.
And a positive influence on the team. Do you know what I mean? By their character. Is their character quite a positive influence on the team? So you'll get them, and then you'll get a positive influence on the team in terms of outcome.
Yeah.
So you'll get one who might be an absolute knobhead, a total tosser, but might get it and he's strong and he might score 3, so he's had an impact. You get the one who just might not do that, but can affect the team positively just by his presence. Yeah.
So we're talking about your tone of voice and the way you speak
tone
with
of
the
voice,
players. And
again, it's more of a reflection of that desire.
Yeah.
Because I would say someone like that has more desire than the knobhead who don't really want to do out, but then scores 3.
Yeah, he's got that
long
impact
term
now.
Thinking,
Interesting. All right. Well, thanks for that, Tony. I've answered every question I want to answer there.